for freelancing opportunities online. There are platforms like freelancer.com, odes.com, and then fiverr.com. Do register there, try to bid on projects there, and see if you can get some projects. And if anyone is interested, I do come, like we have a multiple WhatsApp group. I believe under Vizag Startups banner, we are running 15 WhatsApp groups, have a reach of 1,500 plus people. And we regularly get requests like, designing logos or building simple web pages or simple apps. So if you're interested, you can join, and then we can forward that things to you folks. Affiliate marketing, influencer, again, you can start with doing online thing with being a freelancer, and then you can pick up the other things. Virtual assistant is one other thing. Blogger, online tutor. If you are good enough, you can teach others. And teach others doesn't really means that you have to be perfect about something. You can even teach to someone who is just 1 year behind the curve to you. And digital marketer, and then virtual assistant. So how to start a side hustle, but before that. So I will talk about few things which would be useful for you, even whether you want to start something or whether you are going for a job or whatever you are trying to do, right? Few skills are very critical when you are venturing into online world. So nice things comes to those who learn and upskill, right? So nowadays it's very easy to learn something and upskill yourself. A lot of sources are available, Udemy, edX, and a lot of online platforms are available. YouTube is available, but you have to know how to learn things. Even though a lot of resources are available, but you have to understand how you can learn things. So read a lot. Anyone aware of there's a portal called Hacker News? Anyone aware of that? No? So make it a point that every day you go through that one portal, right? You will come to know what is happening around, right? So in a race, right, when you are going for a racing, right, you don't want to start at the step 0 because the world is moving so fast, right? So you have to start with where the world is right now, right? So don't start with, again, basics. So I would suggest every morning or evening at night, go to news.ycombinator.com, or you can search in Google for, Hacker News, and make it a point of going through every day. Then you can join some book clubs or podcast if you are an audio guy. Good podcasts are available. You can go to Spotify and search for it. Join book club, and there's a book called Tribe of Mentors, and you can read that. We have an account on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and FB. Follow people there. Again, all this social media has both good and bad end, but you have to select what you the good part of that. And attend meetups, events. This is an excellent example of attending this event, right? Long back when I was doing my engineering, I don't think anything like this was happening at that time. No resources and all, but still we did something. So brief checklist. So when you want to go to a war, right? You don't go to a war and then you ask that, okay, give me the ammunition, give me the gun, give me what you require, right? It doesn't happen that way. You have to be ready when you go to a war, right? So same way, when you go to a job, don't presume that employer will, even though that situation is right now, as we have seen in the panel discussion, that we are expecting our employer to provide us all the ammunition we need, right? But it will be much better if you can prepare yourself, right? So in a war, you go with what you have and not what you wish you had, right? So make sure you create your Twitter, LinkedIn account, have a blog, if you're strong enough, diary, notebook, have a business card. If you meet anyone and show your business card being in second, I'm not sure at which year you are, but even if you're in first and second year, if you can have a business card, it will do wonders for you. And the Brahmastra is, I think someone spoke about that, ChatGPT. Check it out. It is going to revolutionize the internet. It's changing, it's growing so fast. I think they had 1 million user base in last 5 or 6 days. Okay, do check it out. So good thing comes to those who build and hack. I think it's that this is what my favorite ask from the college people, right? Please ask the students to start building something. Don't wait them to come up with a full-fledged idea, because the first idea is never the best idea. Okay, you have to start building something, because once you get good at building something, then you can change your idea easily. But if you are not able to build anything, right? So you will always struggle, right? And your first idea is never going to be the best idea. Chances of that being a very successful idea is very less. So you have to become good at building something. It could be as simple as a website or something. But if you are venturous enough, do check out blockchain. Lot of opportunities there. Not only because this is a very new emerging field, but financially also it's very rewarding. These are some of the simple life hacks. If you are a CSE guy and if you don't know touch typing, even despite completing 4 years of engineering, I'm not sure why, why that is happening, right? You shouldn't look at your keyboard and type, right? You should know touch typing. That is my pet peeve. Watching videos, when you're watching YouTube videos, even movies, make it 1.2x or 5x or 2x, right? Save your time. Instead of spending 1 hour watching videos, you can just do it in 20 or 30 minutes, right? So you can do, with the same time, you can do something more. Maybe you can watch more videos, but better you can do something productive. There are plugins which can automate your things. You can install in a browser for sending emails, for contacting people, for connecting with people. You can just automate the hell out of it, right? Group buys, make sure to buy online tools. If you don't want to spend too much money, then maybe 5 or 10 people can come together and do that. And then mind maps or cheat sheets. You can just go search in Google for any topic, search with the mind maps or cheat sheets. So you know how to build, but if you don't know how to sell, then there is a saying in Hindi, "Jungle mein nacha mor kisne dekha," right? So there could be a beautiful peacock in the forest, but if no one has seen it, means that it doesn't exist, right? I myself has struggled a lot with this thing, being an introvert. And then, when I was starting my company, right, I thought, okay, I will build beautiful stuff and people will come. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. So I had to learn the skill of selling, right? So make sure you learn, this skill. Again, this was an exercise, but we won't have enough time to do that. I think I'm already. So these are some of the internet business model. You can check it out. You can search in Google for internet business model, or even you can go to ChatGPT and do that. Ideas are dimes a dozen. Don't fall in love with your ideas, because every day you will get multiple ideas. At this stage, you should go for quantity rather than quality. Try to list down as many ideas as possible. Don't stick to one idea, because the first idea you get is chances are pretty high that it is going to be very bad idea. Okay, and it will be very common ideas, right? So you will get food delivery, yet another e-commerce, and all. Chances are pretty high that you will get all that kind of ideas. Okay, but internet is much bigger than that. So you need to go beyond very obvious ideas. So these are some exercises where you can do to get some good ideas. We'll finish that. And when you are thinking of an idea, remember whether it is a painkiller or it's a vitamin. Painkiller is basically you are suffering with a very obvious pain. You are getting a headache, right? So you need an immediate resolution for that. And you would go and buy Disprin or whatever tablet is available and solve your pain. So in your ideas, do a checklist whether it is just a vitamin, basically an add-on, or will help you in improve your lifestyle, or it solves some pain. Chances are pretty high that you will make some very good money with painkillers rather than vitamin. Painkillers are basically pull-based ideas where customers will come to you if you solve any of the pain, right? Vitamins is basically you have to do a lot of marketing and hard selling to convince customer to use your product or services. A simple example, when you are watching television, just check out how many ads do you get for health supplements, right? So that is why they have to do a lot of marketing to sell them. These are some of the pros and cons of side hustles. I don't see there are any cons except that you may need to spend less time watching TV and waste your time. The pros are you can start making money right away. You can start earning your pocket money, build new skills, an employment backup plan, offers creative outlet, do what you love and control your destiny. These are some of the hustles for engineers. Themes, plugins, extension tools, e-books, newsletters, membership sites, content blogging, design services, and freelancing and coding, right? So you can check out any of these things and start creating this thing. What to avoid? Avoid anything which is too easy, data entry work, avoid it like anything, don't fall for that. Pay to click, where you are supposed to pay to some advertisement and make some money, don't do that. Call center, beware projects, avoid that, most of them are scams. MLM, Ponzi, network marketing, run away from it. With this, I will stop my presentation, and I hope you have learned something good. Thank you.
Guys, a huge round of applause for Mr. Maheshwari, please. Now we have a very special person lined up next to speak to you. And I would like to invite Mr. Abhishek Pitti, our CEO, to introduce him.
Good afternoon, everyone. Ready? So I do want to acknowledge some of our partners who are, some of them are here, some of them are not, but I do want to take a moment and acknowledge their contributions. First of all, I do want to thank Government of Andhra Pradesh to help us take this initiative with APITA and the Innovation Society. We are very, very thankful to obviously the Gayatri Vidya Parishad for helping us host this event in this premises. And I do want to acknowledge the brains behind this program. I mean, we always hear that every successful project has some very intelligent brains behind it. And our next speaker is that brain behind this program, who basically have been, a partner in this initiative. And we'll be hearing from none other than our friend from Polkadot, Urban Oswald. He is the growth manager at Web3 Foundation. He is one of the most creative, innovative leaders in Web3, has been around the space, as long as most people we call OGs are, but have a deep understanding of what the future of Web3 will hold. For the students, he's a big proponent of education in Web3, big proponent of hackathons. He has done hackathons globally, around the world. And please give a big round of applause for Urban Oswald from Polkadot.
We cannot hear you, Urban.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
All right, perfect. So I guess we go from the top?
I guess so too, yes.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so from the top, hello again, everybody. My name is Urban from the Web3 Foundation, and I'm going to take you through today a little bit around Web3, and Polkadot. And since you've seen some of the slides, let's just dive in, right? So Web3 is, you've heard probably words like crypto and blockchain and distributed ledger technology and so on. So it is, Web3 is kind of the newer version of some of these words, but in general, the question is, what does it even mean, right? What are we doing here? What does that represent? And Web3 really is meant to be a fundamental change in the way parties interact with each other. And you'll get to understand this the further you dive deeper into the rabbit hole and understand why we mean this and why the sentence is written as it is. But and you've seen also this slide, so or protocols that allow the operation of what we call Web3, right? So this is all good, and this is all still very high level, but I would like to add another, let's say, function or another aspect to it, and that is the ownership aspect to it. So if we would take a little bit of a history lesson here, if you look at Web 1, so Web 1, what would refer to this is something that, when the internet just came out and we really didn't have much to go by as only static web pages. I know this can be quite almost impossible to fathom at this point, but when the internet appeared, users were not able to participate or interact. So by users, I mean really people like you and me, right? I am not an engineer. I don't go and write my web pages. So for those, it was still a bit different, but generally users were mainly the consumers of content. So you were able to read what was on the internet. And that was great, fantastic breakthrough. But sooner or later, there was an expressive notion that we as humanity wanted to have within the internet. The equivalent would be, you can only always read books. You can never write a sentence onto a blank piece of paper, which obviously isn't the reality, right? That is not how life works. So the second step was to add a write component to this. And this was kind of known as Web 2. Today, we call this user-generated content. So any kind of website that be, blogging platforms, social media, whatever, they have a write component to it. So you can go and write a tweet or a post or a blog or, record a video and send it out there, which means that you as a user can participate in the internet so that you co-create what we consume, so what we read. And this is really, really important, but it's only part of the story. Because if you look at life in general, there is also a ownership component. So if I write a book, I kind of own it, right? There's details to it, but I would be the rightful owner to it. If I go and buy a painting, I own that painting. I own the rights of that painting, however you wanna call that. The apartment that I'm currently in, I own that apartment, right? I have bought it, hence I have ownership rights of it. So life in general has a ownership component to it, whether we like it or not, whether it's different kinds of context and so on. And this is kind of almost a natural progression in the internet as well, right? Humans want to be owners of stuff. We want to put it out there and we want to say, this is mine, this is what I've created. And Web3 kind of allows you to do that, right? So when we add another layer on top of internet, we not only can read, we not only can write or create, we can also own stuff. So that is a very, very important aspect to this. And I'm sure you're going to see different ways of talking about this and what it is and how it functions. But the fact that you can own something in a digital form, truly own it, is actually astounding, right? I remember when non-fungible tokens, NFTs, came out a couple of years ago. All the hype and the craze was really about this. For the first time in history of internet, you were able to own something unique in a digital form, right? And provably own it. I can now provably tell you I own these assets, or I own this, I don't know, digital piece of art. So this is a critical component in the evolution of internet. This is not some small thing that we're seeing or witnessing here. So, in general, we believe in the decentralized and fair internet, where users really get to control their data, their identity, and ultimately their destiny. Right? If you take everything into account, what I've just said there, it's a different kind of relationship that we're establishing between each other and different kinds of parties. It's non-reliant. It should not be reliant on very monotonous centralized entities. And you get to own stuff, not just create and read, but you actually get to own stuff. And if you put all of that together, this is basically what it is, right? You get to own it, you get to own the data, the identity, and ultimately the direction where you want to go with all this. So it's all good. The question is, how does Polkadot fit into this? Now, Polkadot is this, really. At the most, let's say, almost technical aspect is, this is the sentence that would best describe Polkadot. So it's a layer 0 blockchain. It's a heterogeneous multi-chain that connects different kinds of blockchains together, secures them, and allows them to interoperate, so to basically talk to each other. This is quite a mouthful, and I understand most of these words are probably unknowns. So let's try to unpack it a little bit, just so that you know what the difference here is. If you look at the Polkadot, the architecture, the technical aspect of it, it is really a chain of different blockchains. So the reality is that most of the stuff that we have around us is highly specialized, right? So you wouldn't go to a general purpose supermarket to get your car fixed, or to, I don't know, buy an airplane, or to, get a plumber. You would most likely go to very specialized shops, entities who deal with these things. And this is kind of the core of how Polkadot is set up. You have this kind of what we call the relay chain. Is basically the security of the whole network, which also allows the relationships to be established. But attached to this basic chain are different kinds of blockchains. So you would have specialized chains in different kinds of use cases, which can then talk to each other. And that is really the core of the value proposition of Polkadot, right? You get to build and create and participate in an ecosystem that allows the creation of these specialized entities, getting them to talk to each other, not to worry about whether they're going to be here tomorrow or not. So again, the relay chain is the kind of core of it, and then these specialized blockchains, we call them parachains. They're all connected back to it. Now, the cool thing is that if you go and build a blockchain today that is not a parachain, you really need to think hard how you're going to secure these things, because it's not a given, right? You're going to have to worry about a lot of people staking, potentially, I don't know, miners if you opt for a proof of work system. There's just a lot to think through. And all of that goes away once you're connected, or if you're connected to Polkadot. And like I said, a massively important thing here is that all of these chains can talk to each other. So to give you a very plastic example, let's say you are a specialist within the, let's say, insurance industry, right? You uncover a use case that would highly benefit from having a decentralized network run it, hence being built on a blockchain. Now, this is all great, and you get to secure it. You get to, for instance, connect it to Polkadot. You get your network secured. But here's the catch. On the other end of the network, if we put it as a graphic, you have let's say, a supply chain use case. It's all good. They're doing their thing, but at some point they realize, hey, we actually might need insurance instruments for our supply chain that are built in a decentralized fashion. Just giving you an example here, right? Now, what Polkadot enables is really the trustless communication between these two, right? Assets and information can flow without really being at risk. And that, I know it doesn't sound much, but it is a massive, massive thing, and people are really craving and coming into the ecosystem because of these advantages. So if we sum it up a little bit, I know there's a lot to take in. So we spoke a little bit about interoperability. So, you know, we can talk and send messages and assets. We spoke about pooled security, and we also spoke about heterogeneous chains. These are essentially, this is a different fancy way of saying these are use case specific blockchains. Now, what I didn't mention is the last two, which are on-chain governance and forkless upgrades. These two really go hand in hand. And let me explain you why. If you buy software today, it is most likely going to be obsolete within a year if you don't keep on updating it. Probably even sooner by judging by the pace of development these days. So imagine somebody sells you software 5 years ago or 10 years ago. You are highly unlikely to keep using this within the next 5, 10, 15 years. You're most likely going to abandon it and switch not just vendors, but software altogether. Now, Polkadot has found a way to alleviate this for blockchains. And again, this might sound obvious at first, but blockchains are not built to be constantly upgraded. If you look at Bitcoin, the source code of Bitcoin is basically the same since inception. Yes, you've got stuff being built on Lightning Network and all these kind of extra components, but the source code of Bitcoin is mostly the same. Now, this is great, it functions, it works, but many have argued that it actually should be upgraded, that it should change, that there's better ways of doing these things. Ethereum being a prime example, also switching from proof of work to proof of stake, right? But it took the network years to come to that conclusion. A lot of orchestration, a lot of, it's just a lot to take in. Whereas Polkadot really doesn't have to go through a hard fork in order to achieve that. It can literally self-upgrade itself. The question is how and who decides what the upgrade is going to be? Well, the answer here is on-chain governance. So Polkadot is essentially a huge DAO. It is one of the largest, if not the largest DAOs out there. And that actually speak volumes. And this is the way decisions are being made, right? So if all the network stakeholders agree that this is a sensible way to upgrade the network, then it's going to happen on chain, it's going to be voted in, and it's going to be upgraded. So you see all of these things working together are really built so that Polkadot is future-proof. In a year, we're not going to have to worry, oh, this new cool thing has come out and Polkadot is not ready to kind of accept it, and it's going to take years to upgrade it and do whatnot. No, it is there to be evolving, to be flexible, to be welcoming to different kinds of use cases and allowing them to be secure and talk to each other. So it's actually a huge, huge undertaking to build this, and the team has been building this for years. But anyways, giving you a gist of how Polkadot feeds into what we were talking about before, Web3, crypto, blockchain, decentralization, and all of these things. So the last thing before I wrap it up, I want to leave you with this. Probably doesn't mean much, but if you explore this webpage in the bottom, it's will give you more details. This graphically depicts how the Polkadot ecosystem is connected between one another. So we have sent, in the past 30 days, 153,000 cross-chain messages. So messages from one blockchain within the Polkadot ecosystem to another. Doesn't sound much, but this is actually tremendous. Given the fact that these chains have been online basically for months, some were basically just added. Polkadot, the network, launched in December 2020. First chains were added less than a year ago from today. So this is actually tremendous. And what you're going to see over the years is the absolute explosion of these messages, the explosion of these channels, and the explosion of these chains being connected back. So anyways, that is what I wanted to leave you with. Thank you very much. I wish you all the best of luck. And yeah, I'm excited to see what the future brings for all of us. So thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up again for Urban Oswald from Web3 Foundation. So, Urban, let me see if Q&A. If anybody has any questions for Urban, we can take it up.
Yeah, happy to do so. And apologies for the audio-visual glitch in the beginning.
So, Urban, we thank you so much. I think we are in the second hack in Vizag, which is a coastal area in the south of India. You're not, we obviously will be bringing you out to India at some point. But we're in the south of India. We have an outreach of around 200 schools. It's in the state of Andhra Pradesh. We are hosting this event, unlike the one before. We are hosting this event at a school slash college, which is one of the large colleges here, unis here in south of India. It's called Gayatri Vidya Parishad. We have students here from multiple colleges coming, and we will be hosting the 8 days of boot camp in the college here with multiple schools coming and doing the boot camp here before we take everything online in the continuous education program to continue to build from here. So this will be part of our Alt Hack Fest 3. And I think it's going to be exciting. Next 8 days of education on Polkadot and Substrate and Rust. So we're going to talk a lot about what's coming. So guys, ladies and gentlemen, again, Urban Oswald from Web3 Foundation, the man behind the program that we're doing here. Thank you, Urban. Thank you so much for joining us. Likewise. Thank you. So up next, I'll go hand it over to Deepak to take it forward. Thank you so much again.
So I was waving back to Urban, feeling that he is seeing me, when he was saying hi. I saw some of you doing that as well. All right. So we'll begin in a minute with our next session. Just give us a moment. Okay, perfect. So we'll begin with the last session for today. I didn't want to say that it's the last session because you will have high hopes then. But then this is going to be one of the most important sessions of the day because we'll be speaking about AI, blockchain, Web3 in a very use case, in a manner where it will cover a lot of use cases. For that, we have Dr. Prakash Kamraj, who is the lead AI and blockchain architect at Chingari. Guys, let's welcome him with a huge round of applause. Yeah, guys, let's start our session. Sorry for the delay. We had some technical sound problem. So, thank you for joining us. Requesting you to please start with our session. Yes, sir. Yeah, yeah, we can hear you.
These are things that are done. I think going forward, I think it's going to be drastically much more intense. That we don't find here. Next slide. So just to give a very, I think this is the most outstanding program that we launched this year, like, regardless of what our market is. And there's always a nation of tokens that goes on with every user. And this is the first kind of experience for like during the 14 years. So this was the start of the RFP journey. Until then, you can always kind of create your own on a platform. And users don't even have to worry about a lot of changes to it. 90% of people don't even know what's like. So that's how much we have made on really, really easy for the users. And I think that's going to be a start of a lot of products that we're building on. Next slide. So this is just a fact in terms of numbers, in terms of the web. So let's say that it's also one way to look at web statistics, right? So when you look at this, you only look at gross numbers. There's no way for you to figure out what's going on, what the time spread is there. So I think this is where kind of looking at steps in being much better dissection of how what's the action that are happening as the technology is doing. Next slide. So yeah, I think this is the first thing for us the best target that we have kind of. So as you mentioned earlier, we are able to onboard a lot of users. So the number right is standard of price. In fact, this is like 2 weeks old data. We just crossed like 1.7 million wallets activated. So that is how people want to have the concept of seed traders. At the same time, they also have complete control over their funds. Seed funds are another given to the company access. So that is how we kind of operate in this industry environment. So this is kind of a super app for people to have an exposure to traditional token ecosystem without having to worry about the complexities in terms of making accounts, trading accounts. So we made it very easy in terms of social logins when we started. And in terms of revenue, that's just a fraction of what we have given out to the people that are on our platform. So it's a little bit 10 times more. And we're just getting started in terms of how we're able to put out the system. And the Sun has given us the kind of very, very good way to onboard users as well. Next slide. Yeah, in a nutshell, you could be one thing. Like, there's so much complexity for like, what is the real value for users? As mentioned earlier, I think so. Now the backend data in the traditional platform, like, they have to go to the very box in which the average user cannot go to. Like, but here they're able to get paid real money this time to reward a pathway where you just have to go from 0 to 1 in a more. So consistency is what for creators, and they create the best creators on the platform and actually the software per month. So that's the success story that we kind of established. This is the kind of I think that's very good to provide value to our user base. The main part doesn't like so. This is more like example like how people look at it. So when you kind of reward your user base at the very early, they are much more loyal and they have them to stick around for a longer time. This gives us much more value from the users. They give us the real insights in terms of how the platform can build and going forward. And that's what the DAO is very crucial, including the platform. And of course, so this key technology is enabled to make sure that there's complete transparency. Users know have a better say in the code of the platform compared to traditional companies where it's a bit skewed, so to speak. Next slide. So yeah, so we also looked at it from in terms of how can we and other companies, a lot of companies that they also wanted to do the same. But it's not really straightforward because you go to at least 1 year of building and then 1 year of implementing you already got using like very so much. So how could we actually solve this problem? That's what we came up with the solution called having a stack. This is what we're very excited because there's 2 elements to this. This is also where the developers get a chance to contribute to what used to, as well as the companies who approach us in terms of how they can have technology, but we to go to different assets as well. Next slide. So yeah, another thing that also speaking about the stacks and that's talking about here engaged for right now. Next slide. So this is very big, like unit side we talked about. So the democratic opportunity also there for like the same. So even the traditional two tech firms Yes. This is one of something that is going to really change in our upcoming direction. When you look at ads, like ads always take your time and they on data, and that is some of the basic activities that you have for users farm towards something. And then it's usually improve their content, but the user gets something else. So I think that's where the data plays a big role. Whereas with luckily there's an opportunity to capitalize even more. So they don't need Legality is essentially a very clear way of thinking that the person decides that what we're talking about. And here, the stack that we had built for the last couple of years and basically helped my scenario and that people have worked with total user base accordingly. To close, we are just getting started, touching close to 100% of the user base. So this is a big success rate because an average user base, no, in traditional three workloads, we are fighting for the same set of user base, but nobody could get master opportunity in specific scenarios. I think that's what we kind of want to get in how to make it simplified for users as well as builders as well. I think we also have a lot of workshop to demonstrations. Plenty of mistakes that can be used to form the future of the idea. Yeah, I think we can stop the presentation there. And any specific questions, we can just take that. If you have any specific drafts, otherwise you can always connect later in a later section. And I'll give you the other to kind of answer some of the queries that you might have.
Yeah, guys, first of all, let's give him a huge round of applause. Thank you so much, sir. Now I would like to ask if there are any questions here. You can raise your hand. We'll come to you. Any questions? No? Perfect. So I think it's early days, sir. We'll be coming to the questions in a day or two. A lot of questions, so many that we usually are not able to handle. So we'll be seeing you soon.
Of course, yeah, very happy to be talking to the students as well. The grassroots kind of work is very important. How much of we talk to business all day, kind of insatiability. So always best to kind of go to the grassroots and know what are the concepts and misunderstandings of the community. That tradition we doesn't always kind of put it. So I think no matter how the ecosystem kind of goes on distraction, and so one way to look at it is how can you innovate in this ecosystem? Because what you build on today will probably be the future infrastructure in the next 2 to 3 years. That's how kind of technology works. It goes to phases. So I think that should be the motivation point that young builders, young developers, and that it's not just about developers. You need an entire community to understand and get the surrounding world, and I think that's where we're kind of looking at it as well.
Yep. On that note, guys, a huge round of applause for Dr. Prakash, please. Thank you again for joining us, sir. Okay. Yep. Thank you, sir. Yeah. So long day. Raise your hand. Yeah. Okay. So I think we'll be closing now. And so you want to say something? Yeah. And I would request Abhishek sir if he wants to add something to the program today.
I promise, guys, after this, all you will have is, the more exciting stuff about building, your next venture, your next internship, proof of concept. But let me just close this afternoon with a few takeaways that anybody in the room should have. In this room, we have students, we have faculty, we have entrepreneurs, and Web3 is like you all, how many people actually now know, because I know there's certain presentations already talked about Web 1, Web 2, Web 3, Web 1, Web 2, Web 3. And this is going to happen for next 8 days. For next 8 days, by the time you finish this boot camp, you will be very well versed with this word called Web 3. And trust me, when you go to an employer and you know more than, and 95% I'm sure, you will talk to anybody out there, you will know more than the employer who you're talking to about Web3. That is the one promise of this program. Number 2, you will basically be able to teach anybody on this campus what Web3 is and why they should pay attention to Web3. That's the second promise. 3, you will be one of the more qualified people to talk about Web3 in India as a whole. Because we will make sure that if you're part of this program. Now the question, is still haven't hit home about why you should pay attention to Web3. If you want to be an entrepreneur, the fastest way today to build $1 billion company is Web3. I'm not kidding. A century ago, it used to take a century to build $1 billion company. For example, P&G. Around 30 years ago, it used to take around 20 years, 25 years to build, a $1 billion company. A decade ago, it used to take 7 years if everything goes right. Today, it takes less than a year to make $1 billion company. If you're a student and you want to get the highest paying job out of school, is Web3. If you do 4 of these hackathons with us, we are doing 20 hackathons. If you do 4 of these hackathons with us and you do well, you pay attention to what's going on, you will be one of them that will get a job. Here's why. If you do a Web3 hackathon, the Web 2 guys will give you a job automatically because Web 3 is an evolution of Web 2. So if you go to Google and say, I have done 4 Web 3 hackathons, they know you're a smart guy. Period. So whether you want to be an entrepreneur, whether you want to be a professional engineer, whether you want to be... Now, I hope you heard what Prakash was saying. Was he an engineer before he joined Web 3? What was he? A doctor. Now he is leading operations for Chingari, which is TikTok of India. How many people know Chingari as TikTok of India? He's a doctor, he's in Web 3. So what are your chances of being in Web 3? So we will talk about Web 3, we will talk about blockchain, we will talk about everything you need to know. That's from tomorrow. But one thing you want to take away from this session is this is something you cannot miss. This is almost like 2001 in the internet, beginning of the internet. People who were part of this time did extremely well in their careers as entrepreneurs and students. So, like I said, we'll talk more about Web3, we'll talk more about blockchain, we'll talk more about Polkadot, we'll talk more about applications, user bases, everything. But for now, I appreciate all of you for joining us. I appreciate, again, Gayatri Vidya Parishad, the leadership, the faculty, the industry leaders who joined us. Thank you so much for all the speakers who came to be part of this event. Our esteemed sponsors, Tech Mahindra, Polkadot, we have Government of Andhra, APITA, and Innovation Society for giving us this opportunity. And I look forward to taking this journey with you, and I promise you will not be surprised that one day you will give yourself credit for being here and being part of this agenda and creating the next billion-dollar venture. And I promise you, it doesn't have to do anything with where you come from. You sitting here means that you are on that journey. Now it's all up to you what you make of it. I promise you that. It all begins here, but where it ends, I can tell you, you have no control if you have a good idea. So with that, Deepak, over to you. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Again, we are very, very excited to be here. Thank you.
Okay, how many of you want to go home now? And nobody wants to go home. Okay, anybody else want to say something for another half an hour or 1 hour, or take any more sessions? Our students are ready? Yeah, we are ready, right? No? Okay. So guys, jokes apart, what Abhishek sir has said is extremely important. I know the agenda setting, we couldn't get a lot of time today. We would have actually expected a lot of conversation with Abhishek sir and Praveen sir over here, to give you an entire overview of what exactly we intend to do with you and how we want you to achieve things that you yourself may not be able to fathom. but I appreciate the fact that you have been here. I appreciate the fact that you all have been supportive and very welcoming of us and our guests over here. And I want you all to give a massive round of applause for yourselves. Thank you, dear students. All right, on that note, I promise tomorrow is going to be an even better day for learning, for the journey of knowledge, to make a better blockchain ecosystem in India, in this college right here with you students. So I'll be hoping to see you all tomorrow. And thank you all once again. Thank you to the college, thank you to the government, and obviously thank you to IBC Media for giving us all this opportunity. Yeah, so I guess most of you already know, but those who may not know, we are starting the sessions tomorrow at 10 sharp. So we expect all the students to be here by 9:40, 9:45. You know, what will happen is if you are here early, then you'll be able to speak to our senior members here with Praveen sir, with Abhishek sir, and discuss ideas with you. You know, that will be a huge plus, because that will give you time, a heads up on what you should be aware of. So you can take that opportunity and try to be early, but we'll be starting at 10 a.m. sharp. So be there on time, and we'll be ending the session tomorrow at 5:30 in the evening. It's going to be fun. It's going to be amazing. So hoping to see you all tomorrow. Thanks again.